It's raining here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Milsos Micah is on pole from Okui and Armand Kriel. Gabriela Barkson starts fourth from Pierre Gasly and Matti Medvec. Tommy is seventh from Lamfong and Wek Loco. Then it's Ray Shen, Akari Lopez, and Daf Sanchez. Dominic Hudson is 13th from Enoch Yu and Nicholas Palmerino, a rookie driver. Then it's 16th, your boy, another rookie, Hash Sheldon, another rookie, Bob Marino, Niven Colby, Max Bortcar, and Lewis Olsen. For the first time in IndyCar history, we're going to have a standing start here in St. Pete. Milsos Micah is on pole. All 5 lights go on. Lights out. We're underway for IndyCar in Season 4. Great start there from the front row men of Milsos Micah, and a better start for Okui coming through turn number 1, already up into the race lead. So it's Kui from Micah and Labarton. Kriol dropped down to 4th position. Medvec up into 5th position there on board with Matty Medsek. And the 66 there, trying to hold on to that 5th position, defending from Pierre Gasly, but it is still Kui and Micah fighting over the race lead. Here comes Gabriela Barkson though, the Frenchman, going level in that number 19 car. It's going side by side in that AJ Foyt Enterprise car, but it is now Milsos Micah who leads the pack, but expect a lunge from Gabriel by holding that inside line. He can do something that none of the other drivers would probably expect. There is the lunge from the driver in his sophomore season of the ERL INDYCAR series. They're going side by side, almost contact, almost falls into the wall, but keeps it clean. It is still Milsos from Gabriel and Kui as an Yu further back, getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Looking on board with Matty Medvec. I'm still figuring out how to correctly pronounce this man's name. Medvec, I think it's Medvets, as it's a mad move from Gabriel Labarkson to take the lead. Coming through the 3rd and final sector, rounding the final turn there in these wet conditions that seem to have followed us from China. It is on lap 2 of 14. Gabriel Labarkson from Milsos Micah, or is it? Good lunge there from the veteran of the IndyCar series in that Manthe Motorsports car. Up into the race lead. Manthe Motorsports, of course, taking over the Sims Motorsport team proper, although they had always operated the outfit. Look at the margins between the top 2 though. It is slim to none in terms of how close they are racing each other. Looking further down the order, Lewis Olsen's been making some moves. He had a pretty good start and now he's up into 18th position. Hash Sheldon, a rookie driver, currently up into 13th position. We go on board with Ray Shen, looking back at Akari Lopez, nowhere to be seen. Wek Loco looking to try and take 7th away from Tommy, and he will. He's going to make the lunge too. Good lunge there from a man in his sophomore season. Wasn't selected to move up into Formula E. Was his teammate Devin Butler instead, as Pierre in the number 3 car looking for a way to get past Matty Medvec. I'm still struggling to get that name right. But Gasly, the Frenchman, up into 4th position in that number 3. And look at that further back. That's Ray Shen in that 33. We were excited to see how McLaren would perform without their champion, as Armand Kriel in that 90 car moves up into 5th position, and Gabriela Barkson leads the way from Kui and Milsos Micah. The team's wondering when the rain's going to clear. Kui with the fastest lap of 128.5 in that number 99 car. He's closing up to the back of Gabriel in front of him. He's not able to go for any moves yet because of just how tight and twisty the opening sector of this track here in St. Petersburg, Florida is. But into the 2nd sector, and this is where your moves are made. You can go side by side because it's effectively just side by side action, and because of how long the straight is. And then you've just got this tight, fiddly section where your brakes will be tested, and your tires too, side by side. Into the hairpin they come, and it will be Kui to the race lead in front of Gabriela Barkson. And oh, Akari Lopez! Akari's had enough into the wall for the season 15 Formula E champion. Lewis Olsen further back. Oh, out of the race, upside down for Matty Medvec. I think he might have had a puncture or something, but that car is going nowhere. It's our first full course caution of the day. We're looking now with Kui in that 99 car, the race leader. It's amazing to just see the 99 lead as the full course cautions end. And this man, he's competed in every level in the ERL. He's competed in the FG series, whether that's in Monoposto or FG or FCR 2024. He's competing in the INDYCAR series, but no matter where he's gone, he's just not been able to do that one thing, to win a race. How about win the first race of the season? That's currently what he's doing. He'd like to see the reign continue, because it means that if he can pull ahead and make a gap, Lebarkson can't just use the push to pass functions or attack mode too well to try and get past. But that rain is slowing. It is slowing quite a bit. Wet Loco with the fastest first section, but anyone further back for Team Penske. And on lap 4 of 14, it is still Kui who leads the pack from Gabriel Lebarkson and Miloslav Micah. Dominic Hudson further back with a time penalty for causing a collision. Hash Sheldon, the rookie driver. That's the type of move that you'd expect a rookie to make. Absolutely ballsy from that man. The Indian driver moves up into 10th position in front of Enoch Q. You'll notice that a lot of teams haven't changed their liveries for this season. That's mainly just because they didn't need to. They thought their liveries were alright, and honestly, I can't blame them. 9 laps to go here in St. Pete. Hudson drops behind Lewis Olsen. He's been making his way through the pack. Has the Meyer Shank driver as he makes the lunge. Fastest lap of the race at 126.9. He's up into 11th now. Can he get past Lam Fong in front of him, the Revolution Racing driver in front of him? And just taking a look further back, your boy, the Frenchman driving car number 27 for Aaron McLaren SP, struggling to fill in the shoes of Linus Eriksson. Of course, he's a rookie driver, but still would like to do a lot more than finish last, you know? And he's hoping that it clears up. Down the inside goes Gabriel Lebarkson on Miloslav Micah. On board we go with the 11. In the slipstream of him now, getting a lot of dirty air, but even more than that, all of that spray that's kicked up in these wet conditions. You don't want any of that in these conditions, of course, because it restricts your visibility. And the more water on your tires, the less grip that you've got, because that water, it kind of acts like a lubricator between the tires and the track. And in a lot of cases in motorsport, you want a lubricator in your engine. As there goes Milsos in front of Gabriel. But in terms of the actual tires themselves, you don't want that, because you want maximum grip, you want maximum friction between the tires and the road surface, because that helps with cornering and just traction overall. Nicolas Palmerino, the Spanish driver in the number 93, same as Marc Marquez's car number, drops down to 14th and has a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision, and he might even drop down to 15. He has, and he's been caught by Carson Thornburg, one of the most successful IndyCar drivers to have never, and I mean never, have won a championship. Side by side between Lam Fong and Lewis Olsen, the 95 there, looking for a way to get up into the top 10. Kui's made a gap of 2.5 seconds. There goes the Norwegian number 95. He's taken 10th position away, and without the aid of attack mode for Lam Fong, there's nothing he can do. Creel's been given a time penalty for colliding with Gabriel Lebarkson in front of him. Of course, both of these drivers in their second IndyCar seasons, so there's still a lot to learn. But there's still a lot to learn for a lot of these drivers. For most of them, and I mean most of the drivers who are here specifically for IndyCar, they are only 4 seasons deep in terms of their experience in the ERL. Here comes Creel. Down the inside on Gabriel Lebarkson, and he's going to make the pass. That's 3rd position for the French driver in the 30, but no, he's been denied. The AJ Voigt driver gets back past. 7 of 14, half race distance. It's IndyCar at St. Petersburg. Around the outside there for Bob Marino in the 14. In front of Niven Colby now. Good move, of course, from the Mexican. He's got experience driving these types of cars, not just from last season, but also from his time driving with the Renault Edams outfit in Formula E. But of course, we all know the most interesting part of his career there. That flip he had in the Philippines in Season 15. The second race in the Philippines in ERL history, might I add. And in Season 15 of Formula E, that championship was won by the Pinnacle Motorsport team. They've taken 2 Formula E championships, and they've had a run at the INDYCAR Series championship. Can they go after a championship in INDYCAR with their drivers, or will they have to settle with second best? Because both of their drivers outside of the podium right now, it's looking to be Prix who will take his first career victory. And that's just going to be a feel-good story all around with 6 laps to go. Because he's been here since race 1, when the checkered flag dropped initially here in St. Petersburg, when all of the drivers were following the pace car, when the green flag dropped for the first time in Season 1. Prix was there driving for Hyperdrive. He's seen so many different teammates with him. He saw Lewis Olsen initially. Then he was partnered up with Formula E champion in Awful Catfish. Then he was partnered up, as he is now, with Nicholas Palmerinho. And throughout all of that, that team has kept him on. Not because his performances have been perfect. Far from it. I mean, he's still yet to take that first win. But just because of that level of consistency the man's had. Here comes Pierre Gasly, a man known for his consistency in Formula E. He's now in front of Tommy. The rain still not looking like it'll let up. It's looking a little clearer though, so hoping that we can get some dry racing action in today. Daf Sanchez in that Andretti Green Racing number 72. Andretti Green took the first 2 IndyCar championships, but last season struggled for any sort of pace, and now they're down in 17th and 21st. For Sanchez, he was very much relenting the fact that he couldn't get a drive in Formula E. Relenting the fact that he couldn't go back to the Andretti outfit in Formula E. But now, being effectively that spearhead in their IndyCar outfit, this is not the best look for it. Borkar, their champion, is down in 15th, and their elder statesman in Daf Sanchez is down in 21st and not scoring anything. Palmerinho, the rookie for Hyperdrive BBX, fighting with the Season 2 champion, the man who took his championship in the most dominating fashion so far. Thornburg trying to get past both Borkar and Palmerinho here. Just not able to do it for now, but Gasly, this is the highest placed fight on track. Tommy versus Pierre. Side by side into the braking point. That effectively ends off the second sector. And it will be 5th place for the Frenchman for now. This is where your tyres are tested, as I've said multiple times before in this broadcast. But you've seen already so many drivers have kept it clean, but Inocu hasn't. 10-second time penalty for the Hong Kong driver in that number 25. And look at that, the intermediate showing blistering. I have never seen anything like that before in wet conditions. I'm sure someone's going to point to an instance in Formula E where that's happened, but as for that happening in IndyCar, that has never happened before. 10 laps run on these intermediate tyres, and I'm thinking maybe one of these teams might have wanted to strap on the blue-walled wet tyres, but they might have been blue-balled by their lack of pace. Ray Shen up into 8th position. This is a statement from the Chinese driver saying, look, I may not be the most qualified in terms of championships or race wins, but I'm still a good driver. I'm still a race winning driver, and give him the time, I'm sure he could be championship caliber. Tommy moving back up into 5th position there. Akari Lopez going side by side with Pierre Gasly. 5th down to 7th. All have driven in Formula E before. They're not exactly Formula E rejects because they've all got different reasons for being at that team that they're with. But for Ikari, being up there in 6th position right now, pretty good. But in terms of why they're there, Gasly wanted to return to the ERL with Power Motorsport, but they didn't have any openings in Formula E after signing Rodney Sola. So they allowed him to join their IndyCar operation. Ikari Lopez, the team principal of that Pinnacle Motorsport IndyCar team, he wanted to stay in the ERL as a driver, but there was no openings at his Formula 1, at his Formula E team rather, so he had to join up with the IndyCar operation. And for Tommy, well, he just wanted to drive in the ERL. There's no strings or anything attached. He just wanted to race, which is probably the best reason. Lap 11 of 14 here in St. Petersburg, Florida. It is Prix from Milsos Micah and Gabriela Bargson. One retirement so far today. Manny Medved's still struggling with that name. But Kriel is 4th from Tommy and Ikari Lopez, the top 6. It's the ERL at St. Pete. Now, in the meantime, throughout this entire race, we've been asking some of the ERL Formula E drivers what their favourite races in the ERL have ever been. So, first of all, coming from Jonathan Sims, who's just taken his 3rd career victory in the ERL, Indianapolis in season 24 was his favourite race of the ERL so far. For Campo, both season 24 Indianapolis and, shockingly enough, a race he retired from, his home race, Manila season 15. Kui starts lap 12. We're riding on board with the number 99. No real passes in the top 3 happening, which is why I'm able to just run through this with no care. Cable decided to go for what seemed to be the last race in the ERL, London season 10. The race where he took his first championship. And for Tenali Gabo, season 24 Abuja, that race where he showed off that, yes, he was still a great driver. And we've got pit stops. New inters going on for Colby, your boy, and Nicolas Palomino. Struggling with some of these rookie names, not going to lie. But it's shocking to see Firestone's inters already burning in these wet conditions. It's not even that hot. We ride on board with Milsos Micah. The tyres are in their working range of about 51 degrees C, no, 78 degrees C. I was reading the tyre wear, but yeah, 51% in these conditions. Firestone might have to get a harder construction of tyre for this, because my oh my, this St. Petersburg track wasn't even eating up the softs this badly in the dry conditions in practice. We've had this rain since qualifying. But now, to start the penultimate lap, the Netherlands is number 99. Not the one in Formula E, the one in IndyCar. O'Quee leading the pack from Milsos Micah and Gabriela Bargson. Kriel is 4th from Tommy and Pierre Gasly. Then it's Ikari Lopez, Weck Loco in the 35, Raymond Chen running 9th, and Lewis Olsen in 10th to round out the top 10. Outside of that, you've got Lam Thong, Hash, Sheldon, Dominic Hudson, Carson Thornburg, Max Bortka, and Bob Marino, with Daf Sanchez, the last of your drivers who is yet to make his pit stop. Behind them, you've got this little gaggle of drivers. Your boy, the French rookie driving for Arrow McLaren SP, Nicolas Palomino in the 93 for Hyperdrive BBX, Nevin Colby in the 37 for Manthe Motorsport, and Inokio in the 25 for Power Motorsport. Those 4 drivers all came into the pits and strapped on some fresh intermediate rubber. Will that work out for them? Who knows? What we do know, though, is that we are about to see a new race winner in the ERL. It's something that we often see in IndyCar, new race winners week in, week out. But for Prix, it's going to feel that much more special just because of the fact that compared to all the other drivers on this grid, few of them have seen more in the ERL than him. He's seen the collapse of both iterations of the FG series, but we expect to see FG return with backing from Formula Car Race 2025. But as we head now to the start-finish line, it's the final lap in St. Pete. Prix leads from Milsos Micah and Gabriela Barkton. The rain has stayed with us for all 14 laps of this race, and it doesn't seem to be leaving us any time soon. The guys who strapped on new intermediate rubber, they're closing up to the running pack, but is it too little too late as Nicholas Palomino drops down to 21st and last position in his rookie outing in the ERL. His teammate, however, is going to make it a sandwich of hyperdrive BBX cars. And this world that has kept spinning throughout this entire time in its existence, well, that got philosophical. What I'm trying to say is that Beyblade sponsorship, the Sonic sponsorship, both of them helping hyperdrive going really fast with their elder statesman. The number 99, for the first time in his career, is looking at gold. He's seen silver. He's seen bronze before. The crowd is roaring here in St. Petersburg, just like that V6 engine running on sustainable fuels, as he now rounds what is the real final turn here in St. Petersburg, Florida. The ERL INDYCAR Series has a new race winner, and his name is Prix, who wins in St. Petersburg, Florida. Milsos Micah comes across the line in second from Gabriela Barkton and Armand Creole. Tommy will round out the top 5. Has Sheldon there in 11th. He's run a pretty lonely race today. He will come across the line in 11th. Great debut outing for Has Sheldon in a league this tight. To finish in 12th is still an achievement. Your boy, after coming into the pits, you've got to wonder what would have happened to him without that terrible, terrible strategy, because he's finished in 15th with the fastest lap. And this is the podium. Prix finally on the top step for Hyperdrive BBX. And throughout both weekends in the ERL, seemingly being the most successful, the fastest of the Hyperdrive drivers, all 4 of them. Milsos Micah comes across the line in second for Manthe Motorsport, and in third place, a brilliant third place to be had for Gabriela Barkton. As for the rest of your finishers, Tommy was 4th from Pierre Gasly and Armand Creole. Then it's Wek Loco, Ray Shen in 8th from Akari Lopez and Lam Fong. The end of your top 10. Lewis Olsen, after that 5-second time penalty, drops out of said top 10. Has Sheldon is 12th from Carson Thornburg, and your boy, then it's Dominic Hudson, Anok Cube, Max Portcard, Niven Colby, Nicholas Palomino, Daph Sanchez, Bob Marino, and Maddie Medvets to round out your finishes. And Maddie Medvets, of course, being the only non-finish after flipping in the second sector. The finishing order today is the same as the driver's standings today. So looking at those constructors' standings heading into round 2, it is Hyperdrive BBX who leads the pack from AJ Foyt Enterprise, who are 3rd behind Manthe Motorsport. Revolution Racing is 4th from Apex Pinnacle and Power Motorsport, who are tied on points after just one race, and it's Team Penske and Aaron McLaren SP, with Maya Shank Racing, Chip Ganassi, and Andretti Green. A team in IndyCar who have always just seemed to be dominant, not even scoring any points after round 1. We'll hit Detroit for race 2, but from all of us here at Spark Plug Motorsports, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time when the ERL returns.